Welcome to Scholar IAS Current Affairs classes. Today we are going to deal with two important current affairs topic of January 6th. First topic is bird flu. So looking into the relevance of bird flu, in prelims UPSC have already asked several questions on flu. For example, once they have asked what does the letter H and N denote in H1N1 and what is the difference between H1N1 and H1N5. All these questions have repeatedly have come in UPSC prelims paper. With respect to mains, bird flu kind of questions could be asked in technology part where they deal with the diseases and the emerging trends in addressing these diseases in terms of vaccination and drugs. All these questions could be asked in mains UPSC question. And second topic deals with agriculture and the research status of agriculture. Basically, this kind of question is an emerging area. So we find this kind of questions mostly in mains paper, where what are the bottlenecks faced by agriculture and what are the research initiatives that addresses this particular issues in agriculture. All these are very relevant with respect to mains. So moving to the first issue, the bird flu. The first issue focuses on bird flu. Bird flu is scientifically called an avian influenza and its scientific strain name is H5N1. Basically, avian influenza is a highly contagious viral disease that is caused by influenza type A virus. This affects both the chicken and turkeys. So, when you look at the name H5N1, H denotes hematoglutinin and N denotes neuraminidase. Both are surface proteins that are present on the virus, and this surface protein acts as an antigen and they are specific to a particular antibody that our body is producing. So basically with this H5 and N1 antigens, this particular virus attacks chickens or turkeys or whatever birds it is susceptible to. And avian influenza is a very dangerous disease and its strain virulence varies from mild to lethal. For example, mild strain of the virus causes low egg production and very mild symptoms will be there in chickens. On the other hand, when the strain is a different strain which has a lethal effect also. For example, a few years back we had this avian influenza in India and this caused several deaths in the birds across the country. So basically, bird flu effect is from mild to lethal. So the next interesting point to note is that how the bird flu spreads. Basically, in any spread, there is three different ideas. One is where is the reservoir, and second, what is the vector that transmits the disease to the target organism, and third, what are the susceptible target organisms. So for the first question, ducks and geese are noticed as the natural reservoirs of influenza A, which means they carry this influenza A and they form the central players of the ecology of this virus. And how they are transmitted, they could be transmitted via their droppings. Their droppings create aerosol of influenza virus, and these aerosols, when they come in contact with any chicken or any bird, they infect the bird or the chicken and turkeys. So basically, from the ducks and geese, this is transmitted through aerosol or droppings or point of contact to the target organisms of chicken and turkeys. And also that certain bird flu are found to attack humans also. They have a different strain number, but it is found that the flu affects humans also in some cases. Moving to look into the origin of the bird flu, this particular strain H5N1 was first detected in 1997 in a small live bird market in Hong Kong. Later it is found that this particular strain spread across the world causing the deaths of several hundreds of humans. Particularly in Southeast Asia, the repercussion was so high. And while scientists were probing into why this particular strain was spreading so fast and caused several deaths, they found out three particular reasons. One is infected poultry, and second is migratory birds, and third illegal bird trade. The infected poultry, when it is not detected in time, the disease spreads. Second, migratory birds, when they travel from one place to other place, their droppings and their point of contact helps in transmission of the virus to the target organism. Third, in illegal trade, when these particular organisms have disease, they are not really scrutinized by law or authorities or any mechanism. As a result, all the healthy birds also get in contact with the disease. So these are the primary reasons why it had caused havoc for few years and caused several deaths. And it is also found that the strains like H5N2, H5N8 have human transmission, as in like it transfers from animals to humans and attacks humans, and the effect is lethal. So the next question that we are concerned is, when it attacks humans, what is the mortality rate? So it is observed that 6 out of 10 cases, which means 60% of the cases, have led to deaths. This is a very severe condition. So it is upon the duty of the health department to contain such a spread so that humans are not affected and also birds are not affected. Also, there is another problem of viral mutation. The viral mutation can be so dangerous that it can increase the transmission ability of the virus from person to person, and it has a potential to cause a pandemic. So this flu virus are more prone to mutation. This is basically because they have a segmented genome. We have two types of genome. One is non-segmented genome and another type is a segmented genome. In a segmented genome, there are several fragments of genetic material which are linked together to form a complete viral genome. And even if one particular segment of a fragmented genome is weak or mutated easily or subject to external changes, then the mutation can happen easily, and this will result in a mutated virus with high pathogenicity. Pathogenicity is nothing but the way with which this virus spreads across. Next bizarre question to address is that why there is a very high human mortality with respect to the bird flu. The differing strains of H5N1 causes very high human mortality for several reasons. Basically because this particular strain attacks the respiratory tracts of humans and causes severe respiratory illness. As a result, pneumonia, acute respiratory distress syndrome, all these can happen, and this lead to breathlessness and other forms of respiratory problems, leading to instant death. And in birds, it affects gut. So basically, both are very sensitive regions, both gut as well as the respiratory tract of humans, and causes very high mortality. Coming to the solution, this particular disease can be handled by drugs as well as vaccine. Oseltamivir is an antiviral drug that helps survival of humans. This increases and improves the prospects of human survival when a human is attacked by this virus. Second, we also have vaccine that prevents the flu infection in birds. So this is suggested by World Organization for Animal Health. So with this drug and with this vaccine, we can really resist this particular virus from attacking humans and birds. So the second topic is agriculture and R&D. Before going into the topic, let's just have an overview about the agriculture. What is the problem that we are facing in agriculture in India? Primarily, to improve agriculture, we need to have a multifaceted approach. Right from input, where we need to provide quality seeds, we need to provide proper fertilizer, and the cost of these two should be low, and also that we need to provide proper water supply and irrigation. So these are all inputs have to be proper for agriculture. Second, once the input is done, we have to deal with the operational issues like how to access proper credit and how to deal with in case of any disaster, how to deal with this through insurance. All these things we have to take care. Once this is done, when the crops are ready, our focus shifts to how to reduce the losses, post harvest losses, then how to store these agricultural commodities, how to increase the value of agricultural commodities by enriching it. And the fourth stage is a commercialization stage, where once the stored grains can be commercialized through streamlining the supply chain. So this is where this recent farm laws all comes in. This ENAM and farm laws all comes in this stage. And fourth, there is a necessity to link the agricultural policy with the export policy so that we derive benefit out of the agricultural sector in India. So this is the broad overview of the sector. So going into the topic, Current debate mostly focuses on these particular important issues like MSP, reducing farmers' debt liabilities, reducing post-harvest losses. All these things, if you look at, these are all operational issues with respect to agriculture and its development. But the problem is, once we focus these issues, the research aspects gets a backstage. But only when we have a proper research in improving the varieties of the agricultural crops, or to improve the techniques of agriculture, or to improve the composition of the fertilizers that we are using, only when this research goes well, the input sector of the agriculture will be better and it will produce better yield. Major vulnerability that our major problem that we are facing is lack of or low yield, and this directly relates to the lack of research that we are having. So basically, right now India should focus on low input high output agriculture. This is because India is suffering from major vulnerabilities, primarily because of this global warming. Second, the monsoon is not proper. Sometimes we have a very good monsoon and sometimes the monsoon is not good. And third, distribution of monsoon is varied. So some areas which traditionally received a good amount of rainfall is not receiving rainfall now, and areas which does not receive rainfall most of the times are now receiving better rainfall. So the distribution of monsoon is varying. And third, that the economic status of farmers are not in a good state, and we need to address that. So considering all these vulnerabilities, we have to go for low input high output agriculture. For example, this zero budget natural farming focus on low input, as in like zero input, and the output will be good. So these are the areas that the research has to focus. For example, research in sustainable use of resources is a very big research area. To quote it with example, let us take the regions of Punjab, Haryana and Western UP. These three regions are suffering from groundwater depletion. Once the water gets depleted, agriculture is a very big problem in that region. So it is imperative to ask these farmers to shift to a different crop where they will get benefited. So growing these coarse grain crops, the benefit is that it takes very less water. But it also comes with a problem. What is the problem is it has very low yield. So to correct this particular problem, research is very important in case of developing a particular variety that will produce very good yield while taking less water. So this is where research comes. When we have this kind of variety, this particular three regions will have a very good agriculture, and this is where the significance of research lies. So the another area of research could be that pulses and oil seeds. Pathetically, in 2017 and 18, India imported 76,000 crores worth of edible oil. Considering the agroclimatic region that we are having, we have a varied agroclimatic region where India is capable of producing any kind of crop with any amount or any tonnage. So basically, the import of edible oil is a very worse situation that India is facing, considering its resources and the land availability it has. So basically, yield of good oil crops are less compared to that of the other countries, and that is why this problem has arisen, and that is why India has imported this much edible oil. So the research has to focus on how to increase the yield of pulses and oil seeds so that we reduce the import, and at the same time we increase the farmers' income. Third area of research would be that pest can be effectively dealt by use of pesticides, plant breeding and genetic engineering techniques. And these three things cannot be improved without investing in research and technology. So basically, right from dealing with the disasters to improving the hybrid varieties or varieties that can sustain low water utilization or sustain very dry climatic conditions, to the export policy and import policy, research spans across the agricultural sector, and that should be a primary focus for the government to improve the agriculture. So what is ahead? If you look at the R&D spending of India, it is 0.7 to 0.8%. So there is a great need to increase the R&D spending so that it will have a concrete effect on agricultural research. This is basically important because 50% of the population of India depends on agriculture. And other than that, the increased spending on R&D is not only enough, we also have to address the skilled human resources and lack of policy clarity. which is having a very big impact on agriculture. So this particular agricultural topic is a very big and emerging topic because it links research and agriculture, and it could be a very good question when it appears in mains. So basically you just prepare well in this topic because it links both important topics in UPSC, that is research and agriculture. So these are the important current affairs topic. Thank you, and for more videos please visit scholar.com.